Council Vice President Alex Lee, meeting with Dave Kinski over Skype. Mayor Kinski, how is the Light Manufacturing Conference in Anaheim, California?
Well, you know, it's fascinating, Alex, absolutely fascinating, and I'm so appreciative of the Wyoming Business Council for offering the registration so that we just have to pick up the travel and the lodging. This is a huge show, multiple football fields large, and it actually consists of 7 shows, Alex.
Oh. What does it cover? The light manufacturing, that's such a broad area.
Yeah.
Is there some specifics?
Yeah, MedTech World, Westpac, which is packaging, design and manufacturing, Electronics West, automation technology, Aerocon, which is aerospace and instrumentation, and Plastech West, Plastics Today. So it's just fascinating. It's huge. Dave Spencer, the Business Council, told me that it's important just to get out here and see how large this industry is and kind of get the look and feel of what it takes to try to recruit or at least begin to talk to folks about expanding their business in Sheridan and hiring Sheridan people. So even though this show is in Anaheim, it's a national show. We have met people from Boston and from other continents here.
Okay. And speaking of that, how are the conversations going? Are you hearing any trends? As you and I have shared some newspaper articles, Forbes articles about the smart money is moving from the coast into the mid-continent. Are you seeing and hearing those same stories there?
You are to a certain extent, but mostly, unless you're talking to somebody who owns their own business, which is one of our targets, because we're looking for the smaller businesses. Mostly these are folks intent on selling to other folks on the trade show floor. So what you're talking about is the great offshoring of American manufacturing, and now it's onshoring back again. A lot, unless you hit somebody who's at a like a CEO or executive level, mostly they're just trying to sell something to somebody. But no, I just got done talking to a group. Well, let me back up a little bit, Alex. The conversation always starts when they see the Wyoming on the Business Council trade booth, which is where I am now, or everybody's, oh, you've been to these shows, everybody is always looking at everybody's badge. And they'll see Mayor Sheridan, Wyoming. Well, that's a conversation starter right there. Everybody, almost everybody has a Wyoming story. That's where it starts. Wyoming, this guy told me at a booth, that's where I got my last hunting dog. He was from Minnesota. Wyoming, my grandma was in Afton. I used to summer in Wyoming. And so I'll give him the card. It's my card, but it has our WhySheridanWorks.com logo on it. And invite him to come see Sheridan, and I'll tell him some stories about some light manufacturing as well as rodeo. And then this thumb drive, which also has data about Sheridan and doing business in Sheridan. So a lot of it is kind of warming up a little bit, talking about Sheridan before you get into the nitty-gritty specifics of why would somebody think who's got a successful business about expanding in Sheridan.
That's exactly it. Exactly it. I agree. Mayor, if you would, give us, beyond the look and feel of the conference and some of those discussions, but what are you seeing on cutting edge that may be coming down in light manufacturing in the next couple of years? Because as you know, and as we've shared with others, we have some success stories in Sheridan. And so what are they seeing that's coming down? Are you noticing like 3D printing? Is that being displayed?
There's a lot of 3D printers here, and if I were a young man, young woman, and I were technically inclined, I would take a hard look at the 3D printing.
Okay.
And it's a precision manufacturing process, as well as prototyping. There's a lot of prototyping companies here that use either traditional metalworking or 3D printing. And it's fascinating. I was talking to a guy at one booth, and I said, well, this prototyping looks like a young man's game, this newer stuff. And he goes, yeah, but where's a young man get the money? See that 3D printer over there? That's a $1 million machine. See that one over there? That's a $100,000 machine. So it's big bucks, but we met another company. It's a guy from Utah. He's got 8 employees, and they do small and niche manufacturing of medical parts. And so the trend is small, niche, precision manufacturing. The other thing I'm noticing, Alex, is we have to be very specific about the fit. It has to be people who can see themselves in Wyoming because they like hunting, fishing, they like that lifestyle. And we want a good fit, they want a good fit.
Yep.
So that's part of the conversation.
Okay. Mayor, if you would, you and I, when we were down at Data Center World, we talked about the leverage to incentivize and help out, to draw data centers and technology-driven businesses to Sheridan. What is the leverage that you may have down there to draw light niche manufacturing to Sheridan?
Leverage, Alex, that's a good question. The leverage we have is the story that we've got to tell, which is Wyoming is genuinely a conservative, small government, low tax environment that is job friendly, and most particularly Sheridan. So the conversation starts, as one did just a few minutes ago, as a fellow that stopped because he saw Wyoming. He started with Halliburton in Gillette. So we talk about hunting dogs and such. And I said, well, let me tell you, that's Wyoming back in the day. Let me tell you about Sheridan today. We've got a company that manufactures catalytic converters for natural gas engines out in the oil field. They ship all over the country. They are going to a robotically controlled manufacturing process. Cannon Aircraft Products. I said we got a company relocated from Colorado. They did the business case, improved their bottom line, and they're all using CNC students from Sheridan College, local community. And the guy says, so what you're saying is this is not my granddaddy's Wyoming. I said, I'm saying Sheridan has the best of the Old West along with 21st century technology. So then they were telling me the horror stories about where they are in San Diego. They have to pay impact fees. It takes them a year or more to get a building permit. They said, how long does it take to get a building permit? I said, I can get you one tomorrow. He goes, tomorrow? How? And I said, well, you're probably going to go into an area that's zoned M1. We've got what the building standards are, and you're going to turn in engineered drawings, right? He goes, yeah. I said, well, what are the odds we're not going to approve engineered drawings? He says, well, I can tell you in California, the odds are real high. And I said, well, I'm telling you, you guys, you need to come back and reacquaint yourself with Wyoming and what we've got to offer. So, you know, they took the cards, they took the thumb drive, and, you know, they'll think about it, we'll follow up, and maybe it leads to something, maybe it doesn't. But I told them that, you know, we're job hungry in Sheridan. Yep. You know, back in the day, which is when he was here, I said you'd worry that you'd grow up and all there'd be is bucking hay bales or bussing tables. And these light manufacturing jobs pay well, we want more of them. And and I told him we have 50 acres of shovel-ready site. And he says, define shovel-ready. And I said, the road is in, the water's in, the sewer's in, the fiber optic is in, the electric is in, the telephone's in. He goes, okay, that's shovel-ready. So we'll see. It's exciting. It's exciting. But
so, Mayor, based on what you're sharing with us, having all these shovel-ready projects and properties, it really comes down to just getting the word out now and just beating the street for opportunities?
Well, we need to continue to hold the line on low taxes, low regulatory environment, business friendly. Part of economic development effort is seeing that you can grow the businesses you already have. And then another part of it is reaching out for companies that are looking to expand or relocate. And it's on those last two that we've got to get the word out. Because, I mean, the horror stories you hear on what it takes to do business in some of these other states. But again, it's got to be a good fit. We're looking for small businesses, 5, 10, 20 employees, looking to expand or relocate, light manufacturing, and most important, Sheridan will be a good fit for them, and they'll be a good fit for Sheridan, Alex.
Well, thank you, Mayor. Mayor Kinski at the Light Manufacturing Conference in Anaheim, California. This is Council Vice President Alex Lee thanking you, Mayor, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, Alex.